my channel. If this is your first time, my name is Donnie. I am a virtual assistant for almost 17 years now. I love sharing and talking about my work from home experience, my knowledge, and giving pieces of advice and doing a little bit of coaching to aspiring virtual assistants and freelancers out there, and help them become the best versions of virtual assistants or freelancers in the future. If you're looking into freelancing, or if you would like to become a virtual assistant in the future, please consider subscribing to my channel. Just hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to make sure that you will not miss any of the contents, any of the new videos that I am uploading every week. Alright, let's now dive into the freelancing action plan. Now, you might ask, why do you need an action plan in the first place? Preparing an action plan will bring you the following benefits. Number one, it will save you time and will bring you to the information you only need. Number two, it provides you a direction and guidance in a day-to-day basis. That way, you are spending your time and your effort efficiently. Number three, it also helps you manage your day-to-day operation along with the other responsibilities or activities that is happening in your life. So you cannot just focus in this, of course, because you also have other responsibilities or other activities. For example, if you are currently working, then of course you will only need to allot a certain number of time for this activity. So depending on how your day looks like, having this plan will help you manage your other responsibilities along with this journey to freelancing properly. Number four, having this plan will help you pursue the freelancing world or your freelancing goal at your own pace. Number five, having to systematically and realistically plot a duration of time or schedule in your day-to-day basis for this purpose of landing a freelance career will help you avoid getting burnt out in the long run, because you are doing this at your own pace and during the time that you're only available. Just a disclaimer, I am not an expert, so this is basically a guide that might not work for everybody, but I do hope that you will pick a little information and data from this so to help you with your freelancing journey. Now that you understand the different benefits of having an action plan, I would just like to reiterate that having this action plan written is not a guarantee that you can accomplish the goals or the targets that you will have in your written action plan. If you have the action plan in place, then that's good, but that is only like 50% of the journey. The other half depend strongly in how you will execute the plan. So it's not just enough to have a plan in place, but you have to be effective in executing what you have actually planned to do. I have created an action plan that I will be sharing in this video. However, I would just like to let you know that there are tons of action plans, worksheets, templates that you can find in Google. So I am just sharing what I have written as my own action plan, and which I see fit. If you are someone who wants to accomplish and get a job or a client or pursue a freelancing career, particularly in virtual assisting.
Hello, welcome to the 2022 Freelancing Action Plan worksheet. So I created this using Google Spreadsheet. Now, my purpose for creating this is just to give you an idea of how you can create an action plan for yourself. It depends on your preference. I personally use Google Spreadsheet because this is what I've been so proficient at using, and I'm comfortable using Google Spreadsheet. But if you would like to use a Google document as well, then that is totally fine. And if you're someone who is a creative person and like visually motivated, then you can make use of Canva. I saw that Canva offers a feature wherein you can write or you can use tables already. So it's really up to you, whichever you think will work best for you and will keep you motivated. Then you're welcome to use whatever platform you'd like. So for this particular video, I am using the Google Spreadsheet. Okay, so let me start discussing what I have in this action plan. So I have divided it into four. So the plan consists of four parts. First is the objectives. Of course, you need to have your objectives. Then from objectives, you break them down into goals. And then you now go to the assessment guide. You need to assess yourself, your capabilities. And then to further hone your niche-centered skills and for needed coaching and support, then I also have here a part wherein you can list down and consider some courses and then mentors or coaches. Okay. Now let's discuss first the objective. So before you do something, right? Before you try to achieve something, you must have an objective. Okay, so for this particular purpose, we have here some basic objectives that I have written. As you can see here, identify the basic skills, tools, and other important details about freelancing and virtual assistant services. So these are just examples, okay? So these are just examples of the most common objectives as to why someone would like to join the freelancing industry. So these are just guide. You can have your own objectives, okay? So now in this particular example, since these are my objectives, as you can see, now I have the goals. When I wrote these goals, I always keep in mind SMART. S-M-A-R-T. S, it must be specific. M, it must be measurable. A should be achievable. R, it should be realistic. And T, time bound. This information is freely available in the internet. Okay, you can always Google this and you will see a lot of information about the SMART goals. Okay, so feel free to, if you need to expound or expand your knowledge about SMART goals, then do so. You can Google it after this. So here's an example of the SMART goals. When you write a goal, it must always have a target date because it has to be time bound. It has to be very specific and it must be measurable. So you put in numbers in there, okay? And of course, it must be achievable. So it's only you who can assess and identify if that goal is something that you can realistically achieve, okay? So here's an example. Create a systematic action plan on or before, and then you put a target date. Another one, identify the number of hours and schedule to work on this action plan in a day. Okay, another one, we have learn and then a number of tools related to your chosen niche on or before, and then put a date. So always keep in mind it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, and then something that you can achieve and realistic and time bound. So it should always have a due date as to when that particular goal must be achieved or when it will be finished, something like that, or completed. So it always if the particular goal has a number, then put a number in there as your target as well. So say for example, learn say 5 tools related to your chosen niche on or before March 31, something like that. So it has to be in that sense, okay? Now if you've written all your goals, all right, so next is the assessment guide to identify a niche. Now you can list down your soft skills and your hard skills and then the tools that you have used before. Say if you don't have any experience in online tools, then you can list down the offline tools that you've used before in your past work experience. And then you can also write down your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, the next, for this column, to further home your niche-centered skills and for needed coaching and support. So when you have identified the niche already, after the assessing yourself, and then I have this niche guide here in the next tab, which I will discuss later. So you can list down the Facebook groups and the mentors that you think will be able to help you. But then do just put a limit to it. Say for example, if you're following like 3 mentors or 2, then keep it at that number. Okay, that is so you will not be overwhelmed with information, because basically I know all of these coaches, all of these mentors have expertise of their own. So make sure that you identify your niche first, and then list down the mentors according to what niche you're focusing to, as well as in the group. So before you actually list down the Facebook groups and the mentors in here, do make sure that you have identified your niche already. That way your effort will be targeted into those people and communities that will talk about or will have the resources to help you enhance your learning and skills in that particular niche that you are deciding to focus on. Okay, I hope that is clear. Okay, now that you have your assessment guide, you have listed all the skills, the tools, then I have here the niche guide. So I hope this list will help you identify which niche you think will match your current capabilities and skills. Okay. Now I have here, there are different types of virtual assistants. Now there are general VAs, there are executive virtual assistants, bookkeepers, accountants, social media marketing and managers, Reva, real estate. There are also the ones particularly focused in project management. There are also Shopify virtual assistants who can also be customer service. There are Amazon virtual assistants, and then also the ones expert in lead generation. So there are a lot of niches that you can check out. Actually, this is not like a complete list, so just to give you an idea of what you can consider. But do Google, and because there's a lot of information there, you can just go search for the different niches and match your skills to what the particular niche needs. Like for example, if you would like to be a general virtual assistant, then you must have just a conversational, written and spoken English. You might need to have knowledge already or have honed your skill in email management, calendar management, scheduling, something like that. And if the general virtual assistant must be highly reliable. So when we say that, your internet must be very stable and your work ethic is also really good. You know, you're not late, you're not going to work late, or you're always on time in terms of deadlines or deliverables, something like that. You should also be very organized and be good in time management. So I have here, for every niche, I have a list of the suggested or ideal skills needed for that particular niche. So you can just go ahead and browse this particular sheet. Okay. So again, that is the reason why you list your skills in this section first. Okay, it will help you match the ones or the niches that will suit you. Okay. All right, so now let's go to the next tab in here. It's the timeline. Remember the SMART goal? If you are, if you have written a set of goals, it must be time bound as well. Okay, so that is the reason why we have a timeline. So make sure you have a plan as to when the assessment and research will just happen, when the application and the learning will also take place, and up to when you should be focusing in sending applications, and when you should be expecting to have client sign-ups or expecting replies or positive responses from those you have reached to for application. So there must always be a timeline. All right, so this is just an example. Again, this is just an example of how you can come up with a timeline, and you can always improve this. If you have a better idea in mind, please do so. Apply it to your action plan. So this is just an example of what I would like to stress out, that your action plan must always have a timeline, so that you will know as to when you should just be expected to do this, and so you can move on to the next step. You will not be stuck into wherever you are at. Okay, so again, the purpose of this is also to give you direction and guide. All right, now that you have your timeline, then we go ahead and create a tracker. Okay, why is this important? Again, so you will not be stuck on a certain activity. Okay, and again, it's time bound. So when we talk about those things, you should have a schedule. You should have set a duration of time for certain activities that you are planning to do. Okay, so here is an example of what a tracker can look like for me. Okay, so this is just my opinion, or my own, or my way of tracking. So I have here, and again, this should be aligned to your plan. Okay, the tracker must be aligned to your niche, to your plan, and to your timeline. All right. So we do have in our timeline that February and March, for example, will be spent for assessment and research. Okay, so I have your assessment and research. And for this assessment and research, you can maybe just focus on the general freelancing and VA services resources, for example. So it's 2 months. So for February, so I have the dates per day, and then for March. Okay, and then you can list down, the questions or the resources that you'd like to research about or you'd like to know. You can list down the what questions relating to freelancers, like or about freelancing, like what is freelancing, what is a virtual assistant, what are the virtual assistant services, something like that. So any of the what questions that will come to your mind, then go ahead and list them down in here, and then make sure that you have the time. Okay, depending on your availability. If you're someone who is working, like you have a full-time job, then manage your time, wherein maybe you can spend like 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day. So it depends on your availability. Okay, so whatever you have planned in, whatever you have written in your tasks in here for your research, make sure that you put a time duration as to how long you will just be researching, or how long you should just be spending time on particular research topic. Okay, and then you can put your status in here so you will know your progress, your own progress. Okay, now these are just guide questions: what questions, why, when, how, appliances, and then maybe you can put a target for yourself that at the end of the month you can already decide what niche you want to focus on, something like that. Okay, so this is just a guide, a friendly reminder. This is just a guide. And again, for the next month, say for example for March, it's the same activity. Then you can have more advanced information for the next month. Decided your niche, maybe you can do a more targeted research and assessment for the next coming days once you have already decided what niche you want to focus on. So say for example at the end of February, you know what you want to do already, what particular niche you want to be at. Then maybe March 1, for example, you can do a research and look into the different key performance indicators or KPIs being used for that particular niche. Like you can look for feedback or stories from other virtual assistants in that same niche, and find out what performance indicators they use or are being asked from them, something like that. So you can also look for the specific job responsibilities and more detailed expected tasks ideas maybe. So any research or details regarding the particular niche that you want to decide on or focus on, then you can definitely plot them and schedule them in your next month activities. So again, it has to have a time, and you can go ahead and monitor your progress through this column. So now that you are done, say for example you're done with your assessment and research, then you can start the application and apply, learn, and adjust. Okay, what do I mean by that? Now that you have initially gathered research and you have made your assessment and you know your niche already, you can try applying. Go right ahead and go ahead and have your resume and your cover letter. Then you should have, by the way, those are expected to have been researched already. So you should know how to write your resume and your cover letter. Okay, so just assuming you already know those through research, then you're ready to apply. So you can jump on to application, and however, while you're applying, you should also still be learning. Okay, how? When you're applying, do take notes of the different job responsibilities and the tools being mentioned in job posts, because they usually mention that. So if there are information that you don't see in your research yet, then go right ahead and adjust and add those resources in your research, so you have all the complete information with you. So you can do this maybe for 1 month or 2 months. It depends on your depends on your pace. Depends on your availability. Once you've developed the momentum, when you're applying, and then it seems like everything is getting easy, and you can go ahead and focus your job application maybe in the month of June. So again, depending on when you will plan to have that full swing job application routine. Okay, and maybe you can do that for a month or two, and then you can expect for signups or positive responses from clients around August. So it's really up to you as to when you would like to set that expectation. So this action plan is designed for 6 months, assuming you only have 2 hours a day available or 1 hour a day available. But if you are you don't have any other responsibilities in life every day, you're single and you have all the time in the world, you don't have a job yet, and you can dedicate 8 hours a day or more, then this plan can be shortened to 3 months. So again, it really depends on your the commitment that you can give for this particular action plan. So this can be 6 months, or actually this can also be a year-long plan. So it really depends on your availability and your situation. So yeah. There you have it. This is basically an overview, just an overview of what an action plan may look like. So there are more details that need to be discussed within this plan. Okay, for example, full swing job application routine. What should your tasks be like in here? Where should you be going? Again, all these will depend on what you have researched on. Where should you be applying, or something like that. So there's more to discuss, and I hope that I will be able to discuss everything in one video, but it will going to be too long for that. But the purpose of this is really just to show you how to write your action plan, and this is just basically an overview of how you can do that. So I hope this video helps. I will do my best to break down some of the details needed for this action plan in different videos. So please, I encourage everyone to subscribe to my channel so you will know when I have more information relating to this action plan to better help you or better guide you to write your own. So thank you for watching, and I do hope that this action plan template will help. And I will have this in the description of this YouTube video. Thank you.